took his life, and that's sad, boy. Took his life, weighed him down to 86 pounds. I mean, this is the bull crap that's going on out there. That's why we're so important of a YouTube site. And I hope YouTube doesn't get too upset, but this is a good trading site. YouTube should be proud that we're bringing forth a force of healing that this planet has not seen, and you guys are being part of that focus, so I love it. For those of you that just can't wrap your heads around it, my ego's not hurt if you go somewhere else and learn other things for a while. Those that have to chatter on with why, just zip it and listen. Pay attention. Some people talk too much and they can't hear because they're talking too much. Remember I told you old Phoebe Kwanzaa, famous master, claimed to have lived 2,000 years in his physical body. Claimed, I don't know. But he once told me, looked right at me, and he said, if you stop thinking and stop talking, there's nothing you won't know. I thought, that's a good zen right there. Thank you. I know. Sad stuff here. These cases are sad stuff. Now, you're working on Hashimoto's, just low thyroid. Get a thyroid gland. You don't know if it's the pituitary, but still, get a thyroid. I would do thyroid cytotrophin 1-3 times a day. Start with. Adrenal burnout, the same thing. When your glands are tired and burn out, so to speak, that's where the glandulars really make a big difference. They really do. They are really energetic forces to be dealt with. Arthritis, so you're systemically involved, lymphatically. Of course, your adrenals are down because they control the kidneys. The kidneys control the lymph system, which deals with the acids of the body and therefore the pain and arthritis. So you have to reverse that. You've got to realize that your lymph system, and now you got to go to your kidneys and your adrenals, get them cleaned up. Your adrenals are already down, admittedly, and so getting your lymph cleaned out, get these acids out, and go forth in that way. Had gallbladder removed and hysterectomy, so you know your lymph system is real bad, and it's backed up through this whole trunk here. And you got to clean that trunk out. You don't want to lose any more tissue in the body. You're burning yourself up there, KT. Or is that KIKL, 642. Superman. Wow, I love it when you address my question. Oh, anytime. I'm trying to address all of your questions. A little difficult, but I'm just trying to get what I consider the most important ones. And if I don't get them, and just remember this, if you're in pain and you're suffering, call Jennifer, call in here to Shannon or Drew, call in here, because even though we're pretty swamped, I don't care. If you're suffering, I can't get these out fast enough. And I don't want you to suffer too long. I don't want you to suffer at all, but especially the lady in pain here, Lori, or whatever. Get these tumors out of here. Don't sit there and watch them. Get them out. Organic Superman. Well, let's see here. So you are saying for good endurance, I shouldn't eat anything. Well, when you're eating, just remember, when you eat something, there's energy needed to digest, and that takes away energy to move. So you should never eat before you run, ever. I'll say this, though. If you're really on a big endurance run, if you had to stop every once in a while to water up, throw a little God's blend in it. You throw a little God's blend in it and you'll power yourself up big time, but not enough to create excessive digestion. And you'll power yourself up. Or even do a fruit juice. It'll power yourself up. Instead of a big swig of water, do a big swig of raw grape juice. That'll kick you up. Advisable to take adrenal herbs. Yeah, you can do that. You can pump up adrenal herbs. You might use the Ultimate Immune for a few months before. Remember the antler? Matter of fact, she just brought me our last remaining antler, and we only have so much liquid left. We found it back there, but that's pure antler. And good stuff, boy. And if you want to build your endurance up that way, I mean, there's so many cool ways in nature you can build yourself up. But if you detoxify first and remove a lot of these obstructions, because lymph ends up becoming a vascular obstructive issue, because remember the cholesterol and calcium as antacids. So once you remove these obstructions, you're now removing the resistance to the flow of energy. And by removing the resistance to the flow of energy, energy flows more freely. And then the more you're opening yourself up to the pure God conscious state, that's pure energy. Woof! So when you open all these doors, hang on. Good questions, you guys. Good questions. Dear Dr. Morris, thank you for talking about the adrenals. I've been worried lately because my BP is quite high. Well, again, blood pressure, high blood pressure, kidneys, kidneys, kidneys. The kidneys will push the systolic up, so don't worry about the systolic, worry about the diastolic. The other thing, just keep in mind if you have a swinging blood pressure, it's back here at the medulla and cerebellum. And that's a lymphatic issue again, pressure and things like this, so get that moving out of there. And little energy. So they have high blood pressure and little energy. Why is that? Well, because it's the adrenals that control the kidneys. So the adrenals are always down when the kidneys are down. Always. Matter of fact, I see more adrenals down than I do kidneys. But the adrenals are always control of kidneys. So your blood pressure is high because you're losing your kidneys, and your energy's gone because the adrenals are the main issue. The glands are always the main issue because they control everything that goes on. Hormones, steroids, neurotransmitters that runs the nervous systems, those all are vital components to make anything happen, from heart pumping to breathing to everything. So it's important that glands be healthy and strong. I wish we knew more herbs. We know the berries. All the berries are good glandular, so eat a lot of berries in your life. Blackberries, blueberries. I hope you like the discussion on foods. I could go a little deeper in that, but let's get that up. You won't probably see that till today sometime. I've told Chris you got to try to get them up there. I'm trying to stick to eating mainly fruit, but know that I have some real addictions, and without coffee I can hardly make it out of bed. Well, that just shows how low your adrenals are. It really does. When you have to have a stimulant like coffee to get your bowels to move or you're to get energy, you know how weak your nervous system is. So that's where a glandular will really excel here for you. Adrenal 160s I would use maybe 2-3 times a day. You can go up from there, really pick those adrenals up and get into your kidneys and move lymph here. I don't want to go to the glandular route really, but maybe I would have to consider it. Well, if you don't, then pop with licorice, pop with our adrenal tincture, and try that first. You don't have to go to glandulars. Nothing wrong with them, though. All this crap about glandulars, everybody has an opinion. I've used them along with a lot of my fellow physicians. We've used them for years and years and years, and I've never seen one. Not even one negative response. Too strong sometimes, have to back them way down. Oh, thank you. Listen, David the Marathoner, thanks for that comment. I love you too, bro. Thanks a lot. The staff appreciates all your comments, just like anybody else. You know, when you give people good praise, they perk up and give other people good praise. You know, the pass it on thing. So we really appreciate you guys. And we're hopefully all returning the favors here and helping you all to get yourself and your health straightened around here. There's too many people sick to see one-on-one anymore. That's why we need thousands of you guys. We must change the consciousness on this planet. Cool. Hi, Dr. Morris, crazy about an interesting thing just happened to me. I had some apple. Yeah, I was reading this. Had some apple juice / grape juice, and I hope it didn't have the apple seeds. You know, there's a lot of controversy over the cyanide in apple seeds. I will say this, I'm really not a seed person, although I've juiced seeds and all, but it could be your nervous system's just weak enough that either that much cyanide or that little much of cyanide, plus you don't know if you did have some pesticide residues if you didn't get your grapes washed well. You always must wash your foods, even organic foods, but you must use a veggie wash or get your hydrogen peroxide, lemon juice, and salt and wash them that way, because it sounds like, you know, some toxins were on these from what I've found. But I'm not sure this is the pesticide toxin. This could be cyanide. So I don't know. You know, it does sound like a toxic kick on that. Of course, you know, when you're dealing in the stomach area and you're dealing in the autonomic nervous system and you're dealing in inflammation or acidosis, sometimes when you drink some of these powerful juices and they hit the stomach, they're hitting the autonomic nervous system. Basically, I can tell you, your stomach is tied right into that. And so that can immediately knock you out of breathing. It can immediately numb your head. I mean, there's so many things. I told you my journey, and it was not fun. But I did learn a lot. Can't say it was worth it, but okay, I'll say it was worth it. But boy, it took several years for me to get out of it, too. So you have to be real careful. You wash everything real good, and you do your best to get organic, but you still can't let that stop you. I definitely be careful about juicing too many seeds. Oh, thank you. This is from Greg. That was my grandfather's who raised me. My family's last name was Greg. Greg 4. Thank you for your wonderful work. Thank you. Allow me a quick question. You often talk about moving lymph and how you should see sediment in your urine. I'm now paying attention to my urine. I see white fluffy bits. Perfect. Sometimes long filaments. Perfect. At times there is so much of it that it creates a grayish opaque hue throughout the urine. Is that what you mean? Absolutely. Well, you're going to see all kinds of different hues from different chemicals in the body, that's for sure, and different metals. So you're going to see different colors. But yeah, those white flakes, like dandruff flakes, mucus threads, strands, absolutely. Good work on yourself. 28 years, ate an omnivorous diet. After becoming vegetarian, I noticed my socks. Now, this is interesting. Listen to this. You know, this is interesting. And you bring up a good point, you know, and sometimes I forget things because there's just so much to remember and to be out there. And then, you know, if you don't use your mind much, then you got to rely on you being able to access that information in a timely manner when you need it. And you can train your mind to go hunt. So, he said, after becoming vegetarian, now this is just becoming a vegetarian, I noticed my socks were stained with orange gunk. When I took my shoes off in the evening, I think I was detoxifying the sulfur dioxide. See, and I keep forgetting about sulfur dioxide even. Keep forgetting about that. Sulfur dioxide is used as a preservative in meat. A few weeks after I quit coffee and cheese, I became ill. I had to vomit. I didn't vomit any food, but just bile. When I looked at the bile closely, I noticed it was full of the same little white filaments. What is that? There's a healing crisis. Yeah, it's your body cleaning and expectorating. Exactly, and you can do that. If you're real toxic in the liver or in the stomach, chances of you throwing up is possible. So you just can't, you just keep digging in, digging in, digging in. Dr. Christopher used to say, you know, if you throw up on herbs, that just makes room for more. But you just want to keep going and keep cleaning and going down that route. Because that throw up sounded like it was definitely a healing Christ type. And it sounds like you're starting to open this up. But boy, and he said, when I look in my eyes today, I see an orange ring around both pupils. That's sulfur. Definitely. You guys are learning what it took me 40 years to learn, so we can grow from here, but that is definitely sulfur. You can smell it, you can see it, and it comes out, yeah, feet, hands, it can ooze out your skin, definitely in the urine if it's in the lymph nodes, and then, of course, out the stool. This is